We're on the air with the School Kids Questionnaire, presented by the makers of Alka-Seltzer and One-A-Day brand vitamin tablets. And here they are, the Quiz Kids with Bing Crosby. Yes, Quiz Kids, a noted gentleman by the name of Bing Crosby will play teacher during the second session of our examination tonight. Now, as always, the program is made up of questions sent in by you listeners. And for each question we use on the broadcast, the makers of Alka-Seltzer will send you a Zenith portable radio. Now, these Quiz Kids use up a lot of questions, so keep on sending them in. The address is simply Quiz Kids, Chicago. We may reword your questions, and we are sole judges in case similar questions come in. And now, here is our chief quizzer himself, Joe Kelly.
Thank you, Durward Kirby, and good evening, everyone. Well, we've got so many important things on the schedule tonight, let's get right down to business. It's roll call. Claude?
My name is Claude Brenner. I'm 14 years old and a junior at Lake Forest Academy.
Robert?
My name is Robert Andrew. I'm 11 years old and in 7A at Bateman School.
Ruthie?
I'm Lucy Duskin. I'm 8 years old, and I'm in 5th grade at Parkside.
Gerard?
I'm Gerard Darrow. I'm 10 years old, and I'm in 6th A at Bradwell School.
Richard?
I'm Richard Williams. I'm 13 years old and in the 8th grade at Roosevelt School, East Chicago, Indiana.
And Harry?
When the blue of the night meets the gold of the day.
Yes, that was Harry Lewis Crosby, the gentleman known as Bing. Bing was in Chicago for the observance of I Am an American Day, sponsored by the War Saving Staff of the United States Treasury and the Chicago Herald American. While he was here in town, Bing decided to pay the Quiz Kids a visit. And, of course, we decided to put him on the spot. So, Dr. Crosby, Dean of old KMH, will take over my cap, gown, and teacher's chair during the second session of school tonight.
And during the first half, Joe, I'll just sort of kibitz around here and see how you operate, huh?
Oh, you won't have any trouble, Bing. After all, they're just little children, you know.
Yes, I see, but one of them's a little girl, Joe.
Oh, that's right, Bing. You've got a polo team at your house, haven't you?
Got the horses, too.
Yeah. Well, before school begins, here's Durward Kirby. He's only 1/4 the father you are, Bing, because Durward has only one boy, while you have 4. But he also has 99 words of wisdom for all you folks with children.
Right, Joe. You know, all youngsters require and deserve a world of understanding and patient attention. But sometimes I know you parents find patience a little hard to manage, especially on those occasional off days when a headache or a touch of acid indigestion makes you feel just a bit touchy and irritable. Well, that's why it's such a good idea to keep a package of Alka-Seltzer in your home, because Alka-Seltzer eases up those little discomforts quickly and pleasantly. Just drink down a sparkling glass of Alka-Seltzer and see how soon you feel like your own cheerful self again. All right, Joe, let's see what the Quiz Kids know.
All right. Well, children, your first question tonight from Vivian Chenoweth of Los Angeles, California, is an easy Bible question. At least it's easy after you get the answer. What 2 characters in the Bible were never born? I'm talking now about human characters, not the Trinity. Gerard?
Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve, that's right, Gerard. Good for you. Harold Wall of Portland, Oregon points out an amazing fact. There are as many cities of over 1 million population in Japan as there are in the United States. Our cities that big are New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Detroit, and Los Angeles. What 5 cities in Japan also have over 1 million population? Let's try to get at least 3 out of 5. Ruthie?
Well, I'll take a guess at Tokyo.
Well, Tokyo, that's 1, Ruthie. Good girl, yeah. Richard?
I think Yokohama and Kobe. And
Wait a minute.
Osaka.
You're wrong on Yokohama. That's out.
Osaka. And
That's
Kobe,
another one? Kobe?
And Nagoya.
That's right.
That's all I know.
Well, that's very, very good, children. Very good. All right, here's a true or false question from Lloyd H. McMorrin of Piedmont, California. Is it true or false? A 17-year locust actually requires about 17 years to reach maturity. Richard?
I think that it's in the about 16 years in the north, and it's less than that, about 15 in the South.
Well, let's see. We have some more hands up here. Gerard?
Well, anywhere it takes 17 years. Anywhere, but there's one that's, I don't know where it's found, but it sometimes takes 13 years. You see, it buries itself in the ground, and after 17 years, it forms, and then after about 17 years, it comes out, a fully grown locust.
Well, that's
The production.
You should say so, yeah. You're right, Bing. Well, I'll tell you, as a matter of fact, Richard was off about 2 years insofar as the South is concerned. But in the North, it lacks about 2 or 3 weeks of full 17 years to reach complete development. By the way, Dr. Crosby, the scientific name for that is the periodical cicada. You knew that, didn't you?
Clever.
Yeah. All right, now then, is it true or false? Bing Crosby is a well-dressed man. Ruthie?
Is that any trouble, Ruthie?
Well, what do you think?
All right, Ruthie, did you want to answer that?
Well, I wouldn't say.
Well, go right ahead.
Well, I think it's true.
You think it's true? How about you?
Just being nice. Very, very politic, this young man.
Yeah. Claude?
Well, I wouldn't mind having that jacket he's wearing.
Hey, if you pay for it, you can have it.
Let's see what Gerard has to say.
Well, I think he is, because he wore some pretty fancy things on the road to Morocco.
Yeah? Darn tootin'.
Well...
The only touch of class in the picture was my wardrobe.
Well, I knew you children were polite, but I think you carried it too far this time.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
Glad to see you, Joe.
All right, stick around now, Bing.
All right.
Following the African victory, President Roosevelt sent a cablegram extending congratulations to General Eisenhower and other commanding officers. Mr. H.P. Henderson of Atlanta, Georgia, wants to know who received congratulations as commander of all Allied ground forces in Africa. Claude?
Lieutenant General Kenneth Arthur Noel Anderson.
Well, that's a nice name there, Claude, but it isn't really the one...
Then is it Alexander?
Well, now, is it?
I think it is, that's right.
Well, your thinking's working all right, yeah. It's British General Sir Harold Alexander. He's the commander of all Allied ground forces in Africa. All right? As commander of the Allied Air Forces. Robert.
I think that was General Patton.
No. Commander, all right, Richard.
I think it was Tedder.
Tedder, that's right. Air Chief Marshal Sir Arthur Tedder, British. As commander of all Allied naval forces. Who was that to? Commander of all Allied naval forces. Well, Bing, your kids would know that one, wouldn't they?
Naturally.
Yeah. Well, shall I tell you, children? You give up? Admiral Sir Andrew B. Cunningham, commander of the Mediterranean Fleet operations for the Allies. Well, you got 2 of them. That's all right. We can't get them all. Esther Roberts of Washington, D.C. says that if you ever feel sorry for yourself, you should think about the hard life of some comic strip children. Why would you hate to change places with little orphan Annie? Ruthie?
Well, she was an orphan, and she didn't have any home much of the time, and sometimes she was getting in trouble. And I think there was one story about her as a commando, and naturally they suffer a lot and they go through a lot.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Very good, Ruthie.
Good.
All right, Richard?
And besides that, the way that she's drawn, she looks like she's blind, because there are...
Well, that's true, Richard. How about K.O. Mullen? All right, Richard.
Well, he always seems to wear ragged clothes and things like that. Besides that, he's awfully small.
Yes. Anything else?
Well, his Uncle Willie and his Aunt Mamie are always fighting, and so are Lord and Lady Plushbottom.
Gerard?
Well,
there's one thing very dangerous about that. He's usually sitting on the edge of a piano or something like that, and he's always breaking vases and getting into trouble.
Yeah.
And when he sits on the edge of a piano, I think he's going to fall off any minute.
Yes, well, that's possible. Robert?
Well, on average, if he gets in the comic strip, he gets spanked 1 out of every 4 times.
Yeah, that's true. Where does he sleep, by the way? Richard?
He sleeps in a dresser drawer.
That's right. Yeah, very good, kids. All right, now, you know, it's evening here, but it's breakfast time in Chungking, China, and also in Professor Kirby's elocution class.
Say, those waffles are swell, honey. I'd wait for another one, but I'm late now. So long, dear.
Oh, no, you don't. You're going to dash out without your one-a-day tablet.
So what? Here it is springtime, practically summer. I won't catch any colds now.
Well, don't be too sure. Now, where do you get the idea that you don't need A and D vitamins in summer? Do you think the sunshine can creep through those brick walls in your factory?
No, I suppose it can't at that.
I don't want you to let your resistance get low any time of the year.
Well, I guess you're right, honey. Anyway, it's no trouble to take one-a-day tablets. Just one little tablet at breakfast, and presto, I've got my daily rations of vitamins A and D. Well, goodbye again.
Good day, sir. And don't forget your one-a-day brand vitamin A and D tablets again. Into that single tablet are packed a whole normal day's supply of A and D vitamins, or maybe you know them as the cod liver oil vitamins. Remember, one-a-days are the vitamin tablets that are so rich in A and D vitamins, you take just a single tablet once a day. That once-a-day idea makes for convenience these busy days, and it makes for real money saving, too. Instead of paying for 3 or 4 tablets or capsules a day, you pay for just one. So remember that brand name. It's one-a-day brand made by Miles Laboratories. All right, Mr. Kelly, isn't it about time to turn over the class to Professor Crosby?
It certainly is, Durward. Dr. Crosby of old KMH will now preside over the Alka-Seltzer classroom of the air. Bing, old boy, just slide yourself behind the desk there and pitch up the questions.
Fine, but you gotta let me borrow that stale hat there, that mortarboard. Do I look a little like Professor Kaiser now?
Oh, yes. You know, there's a lot of talent in that hat, Bing.
Is that right?
Yeah, Fred Allen Ward, Jack Benny, and Tallulah Bankhead. And,
I'm in a fast league here, then.
Of course, I might add here, usually our professors wear their shirts tucked inside, Bing. But that's all right. That's all right.
Thanks.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I take the first question,
Yeah.
huh?
Mhm.
Do I have to face this battery of brains here with these questions? Miss Elizabeth Patterson of Seattle, Washington. Kids, she points out that twins have played important roles in history. Now, she wants you to identify these famous sets of twins and tell where they're found. First, Castor and Pollux. Look at the hands go up. Ruthie, you want to handle that?
That's from mythology, and those were 2 brothers. I believe they were half mortal and half immortal, and they were the brothers of Helen, who was the most beautiful woman in the world. And, well, that's who they were.
I think that ought to get as far as... You want to venture something on that, Claude? You want to enlarge?
Well,
Hit me.
2 stars.
Uh-huh.
2 stars in the sky have been named after them.
What are the names of the stars, Claude?
Castor and Pollux.
That's what I said. You walked right into that one. Well, that's certainly very interesting. I think we got a pretty good answer on that. We've got that covered completely. Now let's go into Sigmund and Sieglinde. Ruthie? You the only one that know that?
They were from Wagner's opera, let's see. It was, I think...
You sing something from it? Give us a few areas.
No. But anyhow, it was one of the Wagnerian operas, I think it was the Rheingold.
I think no.
And Sigmund married Sieglinde by stealing her.
Let's not get into that. I think that's a great answer, Ruthie. I'm going to pass on that. That's very enlightening. But
pardon me, Dr. Crosby, you still think it was Rheingold, eh?
Oh, no, it wasn't Rheingold. I didn't want to say anything.
Oh, I see.
Anybody know what opera that was from? Claude? Richard? Robert? Gerard? Joe, tell him.
Well, let's let Ruthie...
Ruthie knows. Huh?
I think it was the Valkyrie.
That's...
It was Divalka.
Yes.
How about, here's another set of twins, Philip Lang and Dennis Michael. You know that, Gerard?
Those are
These
your
are
two boys.
That's right. They are two of the famous California gangbusters, otherwise known as the Gentile Marx Brothers. Well, we go to the next question now here. Janet Knight of Los Angeles, California. She doesn't think it's too bad for radio comedians to borrow one another's jokes or lift something now and then from Joe Miller's joke book. If Bob Hope thinks that's the book he wrote, I don't know. After all, some of the finest classical writers have borrowed shamelessly, and a long time ago somebody noted that not everything that glistened was gold. You kids name 3 different writers who borrowed that same idea, almost the same words. Ruthie?
Well,
You're being
it was,
featured here tonight, aren't you?
it was from Gilbert and Sullivan's Pinafore, and let's see. Then there's an Aesop fable.
Can't handle that pinafore.
An Aesop fable with that moral. I mean, I don't know anything else.
How about you?
I'm almost positive that it's from the HMS Pinafore.
That's a great stab, but I think you're wrong. How about you, Richard?
I think it was in Shakespeare. I'm not sure which book.
Well, what I want you to give me is variations on the expression that everything that glistened was gold.
Oh, well,
some writers who took that liberty made
one
the
was, I think, all that glistens is not gold, and all is not gold that glisters.
That's good. That's right. Gerard, you want to take a crack?
Well, I know that it is from Pinafore because there's a song called Things Are Seldom What They Seem. And there's a line of it that says, all that glistens is not gold.
Is that in Pinafore?
That's right.
Well, I don't deny that, but I want you to give me some variations on it and tell me what writers made that, took the liberty of making variations on that quotation. Maybe it was in Pinafore. I haven't sung Pinafore in years. What is it, Ruthie?
Well, Gilbert and Sullivan is a writer of Pinafore, Gilbert and Sullivan are the writers of Pinafore, so they must be the ones that did it.
You want to say a few words in here, Joe? Get me out of this. Well, I'll go over in the corner and pick up that egg.
I just wanted to say, are Gilbert and Sullivan writing for Pinafore?
Yeah, they wrote Pinafore, yes, I know that. Well, has anybody got any other writers besides Gilbert and Sullivan that said all that not glistens is gold in different words? Said substantially the same thing. The gist of that, but in different phraseology.
Nice going, Doctor.
I think one said, all that glitters is not gold.
All that glitters is not gold? That's right. That's a good one. Ruthie, you're hot for one?
That's from Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice.
Right. Right. She's a talented girl. I want you in all my pictures. That's swell. Well, we got to get along here now with the rest of the questions.
Well, wait, just a minute there, Bing, before you go on to the next question on your list.
Yeah?
I've got a math question I've been carrying around in my pocket for a couple of weeks. I think the kids could handle it all right. Some of them have gone through analytical geometry already, but I wasn't sure I could read the problem just right, see? Would you mind asking, and now, you're used to big words. I've heard you on your Kraft Music Hall show many times, and you use a lot of $1.50 words, in fact, $3 words.
Done that.
Yeah. Well, see what you can do with this.
Well, Robert Bentley of the University of Chicago, I think I'm being trapped here, describes this as a very simple problem in analytical geometry. The distance from the origin to the orthogonal projection of a vertex of an equilateral hyperbola upon one of its... Oh, interesting. Asymptotes is 12. How long is the semiconjugate axis? Holy tomatoes, is it? Who wrote this? You got the answer for that and I can't even read it. You got the answer for that, I'm leaving the room immediately. How long is the semiconjugate axis? Richard?
Well, in an equilateral hyperbola,
Yeah?
it would be 12 times the square root of 2.
Naturally. Very good.
Because in an equilateral hyperbola, the semi-transverse axis is equal to the semi-conjugate axis.
Oh, yes, it's bad all over the country.
and the asymptotes are at an angle of 45 degrees with those axes, and so that means that the projection, the orthogonal projection, means perpendicular projection, and so that of the vertex on the asymptote forms a 45-degree right triangle, and one leg of that is 12, so that means that the hypotenuse is the semi-transverse axis, and so that would be the square root of 288, or 12 times the square root of 2, and that's the same thing as the semi-conjugate axis.
Hey, Joe. That's a fairly bright boy.
Oh, I should say so.
You know, is it true that every question used on this show gets a radio?
That's right, Bing.
Well, Joe, I had a little fire out to my house, burned up all my radios and everything.
Yeah, I read about that, Bing. What started that fire?
Well, I think what really started is Bob Hope sneaked in the house and rubbed a couple of my sport coats together.
I thought maybe the start was being overworked or something.
Carrying matches.
Yeah, carrying matches.
But you do get a radio if the question is used.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I've got a question I want to ask the quiz kid.
All right, go right ahead, Bing.
Tell me, what is generally meant by the expression, kid? This hurts me worse than it does you. Robert?
Well, generally when I'm getting whipped, my dad says, this hurts me more than it hurts you.
I didn't think they'd get it. Well, that's right. I get the radio.
Oh, you get the radio.
Right.
You made sure of that, Bing.
Say, here's another question. Quotation from Mrs. Helen Murphy of Chicago. She wants to know who made this statement in a recent motion picture. The statement is, why ask me? I'm no quiz kid. Oh, they all got there. What picture pen? I have missed Gerard. Gerard!
I think Bob Hope said that in the road to Morocco. Or else you did.
I said it.
I'll tell you what, Bing. Let's give the quiz kids a breather while Mr. Kirby gives out.
Let's give me a breather, will you, kid?
Take over, Durward.
All right, Joe, it's a suggestion for these days when you mothers have to figure the family meals in points. If you're not careful, you may be skimping on those important B-complex vitamins. And naturally, you don't want to do that because a B-complex deficiency can actually cause such things as nervousness, loss of pep, and poor digestion. Now, here's one simple way to sidestep that possibility of B vitamin deficiency. Give every member of your family a single one-a-day brand vitamin B-complex tablet every day. Just one little tablet once a day. Now, that's easy, isn't it? You see, each one-a-day brand vitamin B-complex tablet contains the full minimum daily supply of vitamins B1 and B2, in addition to generous amounts of other vitamins of the B-complex. Actually, one-a-day brand vitamin B-complex tablets are so rich in B vitamins, just a tablet a day is all you take. And that's exactly why one-a-days are so low in cost. You see, you pay for just one tablet a day, not 3 or 4. So ask any druggist for one-a-day brand vitamin B-complex tablets. One-a-day is the registered trademark of the Miles Laboratories, and you'll know for sure that you have this high-potency, low-cost brand when you see the big one on the package. Now, Professor Crosby, we're waiting for that next question.
Oh, yes. All right, Kirby. Larry Jackson of Kansas City, Missouri group. He wants to know, he's an admirer of Victor Herbert. He wants you to listen to these 3 songs and tell from what operettas they were taken. Here's the first one. Joe, isn't somebody supposed to sing this?
Oh, yes, Bing. We'd planned on Lawrence Tibbet, but as long as you're here, why should we pay anybody?
Well, Tibbet. Well, of course, I'm unaccustomed to this kind of thing, public singing. For I'm falling in love with someone. Richard?
I think the Indian love song.
Indian love? Ruthie?
I'm falling in love with someone from Naughty Marietta.
That's right, by Victor Herbert. Wonderful. That sounded like Indian love call to you, huh, Richard? Must have sung it beautifully. How about this one? Want to know what operetta it's from? Slumber on, my little gypsy sweetheart. Come on, men, we can't let Ruthie get all. Richard, you want to try it again?
I think that's...
What's the name of the operetta?
Skip that.
Pass. Ruthie, what's it
Gypsy
from?
Love Song from the Fortune Teller.
Right. How about this one? Oh, sweet mystery of life, at last I've found you. Ruthie knows all the songs, these boys. Claude?
Is that from the New Moon?
No, that's by Romberg, Sigmund Romberg. Ruthie, what's that
A
from?
Sweet Mystery of Life from Naughty Marietta.
That's right. Ruthie! Listen, you must be very musical to know all these operettas. How about you and I singing a little duet? Let's sing, what would you like? Sing All Sweet Mystery of Life? Let's get it in my key, though, huh, Ruthie?
Well, I'll try to. It might be a little higher, though.
Oh, you start it, and I'll sing contralto or something.
No, you sing with me.
That's one. How about a little harmony? We want to get mellow, don't we? You sing it. I'll climb in there somewhere.
No.
Go ahead, Ruthie. Ready?
No,
Sweet mystery of life, at last I found. Take the lead when you're not coming through, Ruthie. You're not delivering. Want to try it again? Oh, sweet miss. Get your breath. Take a big deep breath. Breathe. You must breathe. Oh,
sweet mystery of life at last I found.
That's from the New Moon, I think.
Oh!
Thank you, Ruthie. What goes on now, Joe?
Well, Bing, now our judges get busy adding up scores to see which three quiz kids get another chance in the classroom next week. And while that's going on, how would you like to give each quiz kid a $100 denomination war bond?
Oh, boy, there's nothing I'd rather give out, Joe. Because those war bonds are the stuff that'll keep the U.S. the kind of place we all want our kids to grow up in. See, you take swell kids like these quiz kids here. They couldn't possibly grow into such splendid children in a tossest country. They'd be too busy learning to hate to bother with culture or baseball. They wouldn't be allowed to read the books they wanted or listen to a lot of good music. They wouldn't be allowed to study the Bible. They could answer questions like that first one we had tonight. Yeah, we got a lot of important things to protect, and that's why war bonds are the best kind of presents that we parents can give our kids.
Thank you, Bing. And now, here are the report cards, and you can give out the news.
Oh, yes. Well, here's what it says. The quiz kids as a class missed one question. Sensational performance. I think it must be the way I led them along in my...
I think so, too.
And the winners were Richard was first, Ruthie second, Gerard showed.
In other words, that means you three quiz kids will come back next week, and with you in the classroom will be Ann Llewellyn, age 11 of Chicago, and Bill Nesbitt, age 12 of Chicago. Well, say, Bing, it was great to have you visit us. And I know it was a big thrill for the quiz kids to have Bing Crosby for a teacher.
Well, I certainly had a lot of fun being here, Joe, and meeting these wonderful children. I think I'll go right home and drop my kids in a claiming race, right?
Well,
amazing children and very, very nice children to meet and know.
Well, thank you very much. So long, Bing. Come see us again. Friends, this is Joe Kelly dismissing the quiz kids class until the same time next Sunday. Good night, kids.
Good night, Mr. Kelly.
Listen to the Quiz Kids every Sunday. Bing Crosby appeared on the Quiz Kids program through the courtesy of the Kraft Cheese Company. This is Durward Kirby speaking.
This program came to you from Chicago. This is the Blue Network.